take it personal. I ain't lying, I ain't hiding. I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby, I'm on high.
Welcome to another meal prep video. My name is Jennifer. I am 45 years old and I have been doing the WW Blue plan now for a little over a year, and I am down 62 pounds. Every Sunday my husband and I meal prep our food for the week. We meal prep our dinners typically. I know most people meal prep breakfast and lunch, but we kind of do it opposite. We meal prep our dinners. Charlie actually helps me do the meal prep. If you can hear a noise in the background, that's him trying to cut my pineapple, and he's a noisy person. I'm always getting on to him because every time I go to film he starts making some noise. He's over there shaking his head at me right now, but it is a little difficult to pull that pineapple out. But he finally got it. So anyway, back to my intro. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video. Please click subscribe down below and like this video if you like it, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. For today's meal prep, we have two new recipes that we are going to try, and they are both from Skinnytaste. One is chicken taco poblano rice bowls. I am going to probably change some things up. She calls for 4.5 cups of cooked brown rice, and I don't know if y'all know this or not, but if you go online on like Skinnytaste website or whatever, you can put in however many servings that you want and it will calculate that out for you, which I really think is a neat thing. So I put in 6 servings because we'll make 6 servings of one meal and 6 servings of the other meal. We will alternate those Sunday night through Friday night, and that's why we need 12 meals. So I put this in for 6 servings, and she has 4.5 cups of cooked brown rice in there, and she has the smart points totaled for you as well for all plans. It's, if you do it her way, it's 8 smart points on the blue plan, 11 on green, and 3 on purple, because of course brown rice is 0 on purple. I'm not going, I did the blue plan, so I'm not going to use the brown rice. I'm going to substitute in my cauliflower rice, and I'm probably going to go ahead and add in my rotel with it just to give it that flavor, because that really covers up that cauliflower taste if you don't like the taste of cauliflower. I know that we wouldn't like these bowls if we just put plain cauliflower rice in there. So I am going to jazz it up a little bit. You know, I like it spicy. I'm going to add my rotel, probably some cumin, some chili powder and stuff like that, and I'm not exactly sure what the points will come down to, but I will get those calculated for you before I get this video put up and have it in the description box, or I'll put it on the screen for you. And then for our other meal, it is the Kielbasa veggie sheet pan dinner is what we're doing for that one. And this one is just the turkey kielbasa, which I just got some butterball turkey sausage from Kroger. You need 21 ounces of that, asparagus, some grape tomatoes, a couple of orange bell peppers, and then she does call for 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I will not use the olive oil. I will use the olive oil spray because it is 0 points. If you do it like she has it, it is 6 points on the blue plan, 6 points on green, and 6 points on purple as well. But again, I will modify it, and I think that it will be less points if I leave out that olive oil. I think that's what is causing that to be 6 points. I'm really not sure how many points the turkey sausage is that I got, but I think it's pretty low. So we will see. With this, I'm also going to make some roasted potatoes. I got some of those little yellow Yukon Gold potatoes at Kroger, and so I'm going to dice those up and probably just put some garlic and some seasonings on them and just cook them in the oven until they're nice and crispy. I thought about doing the air fryer. We don't have a big air fryer. We just have a little one, but I would have to do like 2 or 3 batches if I did it in the air fryer. So I think I'm just going to put them on a sheet pan and put them in the oven and just cook them until they are good and crispy. And I think that that will be a good side to go with this. It'll be lots of veggies and the turkey kielbasa, and then the potatoes for a good carb. I always like to add, kind of have everything in there, you know, a fat, your protein, and your carb in all of my meals. Anyway, Charlie's already working on the fruit. You know, I always plate up my fruit that I take for my lunches during the week. Here's Maya. You can barely see her tail, but she has to always get up here and get in the videos. Say hi, Maya. Don't show them your butt. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling at the moment and we will get into the video. I'm gonna try to get my fruit washed and stuff and get that out of the way. We have a lot of peppers to cut. We have poblano peppers, we have bell peppers, my peppers that I use for my breakfast each week. What else do we have to chop today? Several things. Cut my tomato for my sandwiches, just a lot of different little prep things like that. So we're gonna knock that out of the way and then we will get into cooking the actual recipes. Say bye, Maya. Say hi. Yeah, you're a good girl. So I've just kind of let my asparagus soak for a few minutes as well in the water and vinegar. I washed all my other peppers and stuff and realized that the stupid camera wasn't even recording, which it's not that the camera's stupid, I guess that's on me. But I'm just going to rinse this really well and then kind of rinse this out, and then I'm going to let my blueberries soak. Okay, I'm just going to let those soak for a few minutes and then rinse them really well. And they do not taste like vinegar, I promise you, but they will be cleaner and fresher. Okay, I'm going to get my pineapple, cantaloupe, and blueberries into my fruit containers. These are what I eat for lunch every day during the week, along with some of the Chobani non-fat Greek yogurt that is 0 points. So all of this is a 0 point side that I have with my sandwich for lunch. And then everything on my sandwich that I eat for lunch is 0 except for the multi-grain rolls, which I'll show you those because I have some questions on what I eat for lunch. But these are the sandwich thins that I like to eat. I don't know if you can see that. I'll come closer. These are 4 points, and I really prefer these over bread. I really just don't like regular bread anymore, so I just use the boar's head turkey, and then I just put mustard on there with lettuce and tomato, and it is delicious and it's nice and filling. I have full fruit containers that I eat as my sides, and the yogurt, I just like to dip the fruit in the yogurt. I don't know why, but I like it. It's 0 points, and it is super filling for me, and it's easy for me to throw together for lunch. But anyway, I'm going to throw these together real quick, and I'll probably like do a little speed clip for you because I know y'all have seen me put my fruit bows together several times. So here we go.
If you tried, you wouldn't understand it. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Hold up, baby, I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different.
Okay, that gets my fruit in all of the containers. I'm going to put my peppers. Charlie's already diced my peppers in this little dicer, which we just picked this up at Walmart for $10, and it dices it up perfectly. And so I'm just going to grab my Rubbermaid container and some paper towels and get that together, and then we will have all of this stuff out of the way. And for my peppers, I do always like to use some paper towels to absorb the moisture. Otherwise it will kind of get funky in the bottom of the container quickly. And I've never had any issues with these. They stay in the refrigerator. They're still good all week. Okay, and there's the peppers in there. And I'm going to turn y'all around and just get a better clip so you can see the finished fruit and yogurt and peppers. Okay guys, here is the completed fruit containers. I made 6 containers of fruit. I made 6 yogurt containers, and then I have my diced peppers as well. The only reason I made 6 instead of 7 is because I do still have 1 or 2 containers left in there from last week, which I'm getting ready to eat my lunch here in a minute. So I'm going to eat one of those, and then I'll still have another one left. I think I have 2 in there. If the pineapple's still good, we will see, because it was a little on the ripe side last week, but I think that it'll be okay, at least for today. So anyway, I just went ahead and made 6 of these, so this should do me for the week. I still have a few peppers left, so I'm going to try to use those up on my pizza that I'm fixing to make today, and then that way I will start the week with some fresh peppers. Alright, so I'm ready to get started on the turkey kielbasa sheet pan dinner, which all of this is going to bake in the oven. So we've sliced up our 2 packs of kielbasa sausage, and I plugged this into my recipe builder, and this is going to come out to 6 points on the blue plan just for the sausage and the vegetables, and that is excluding the olive oil. I did use a little bit more sausage in mine. She only called for like 21 ounces or something, but I had 2 13-ounce packs, so I went ahead and used all of it, and I didn't realize that that really had that many points in it. So that does divide out to 6 points per serving for the blue plan. And so we're going to put these in at 400 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. We just sliced them in these diagonal 1/2 inch thick slices. She doesn't say to season them, but I think I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on them just to have a little something on them. And then we are working on the sheet pan of the veggies, which will be the bell pepper, the asparagus, and the grape tomatoes. And then we're also, as a side, going to have the potatoes, which we have already diced these up into little chunks. I'm not sure how I'm going to season those yet. I'm probably just going to do some garlic powder, salt and pepper, spray it with some olive oil spray, and then maybe throw something in there to give it a little bit of spice, maybe some paprika or something. I'm not sure, maybe a little cayenne pepper. So we'll see what I come up with for that. And I'm not sure on the total points on that. Of course, that will depend on how much I end up putting in each container. But the turkey, sausage, and veggies will be 6 points, plus I'll probably try to do 4 points worth of potatoes for mine. So for me personally, that's a fairly point heavy dinner at 10 points. I usually don't eat that much for dinner, but again, I didn't think that the sausage was going to be so much. I've never cooked this before, so I just picked the butterball turkey sausage whenever I was doing my grocery pickup, thinking that that one would be the lowest in points. Maybe there are lower ones. Who knows, but we'll see if it is good, if it's worth it. Okay, now I'm going to get the veggies ready to go in the oven, which the turkey kielbasa is supposed to cook in the oven for about, it says 10 to 15 minutes before you put in the vegetables. So I've already got that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and get the veggies seasoned up. So we have 2 orange bell peppers I'm going to put in here. And then we did a whole little punnet of the grape tomatoes, and they're just sliced in half. They're going to go in as well. And then we've got 2 bunches of asparagus. I'm going to put those in, which of course Charlie has chopped all of these for me, which is lovely, because you know that's a lot of work, but he is a good sous chef for me. Plus he has much better knife skills than I have. The other day whenever we were fixing the very last thing to take to my daughter's house for Thanksgiving, I was trying to peel the sweet potatoes and I sliced my thumb because there was like a little bad spot in one of them. So I really shouldn't be allowed to hold a knife, but anyway, I digress. So it says in the bowl, in a small bowl, it says to whisk together the oil, the sea salt, Italian seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, and black pepper. So what I have in here is 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt, which I just used this from Sam's Club, this member's mark. It says 0.38 of a teaspoon of black pepper, so I just did about half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1.5 teaspoons of paprika, and 1.5 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. So I just put all of those in here together. I'm not putting the olive oil because, you know, I want to save on the points. So what I'm going to do is spray the veggies and dump this in there and mix it up, and then probably just spray it again and just toss it a good couple of times. And then I have a pan already lined with aluminum foil. I'm just going to spread that out on there and throw it in the oven. This actually smells pretty good. I think I will use paprika with the potatoes just because that will kind of go along with the taste of these veggies as well. So I'm just going to take my olive oil spray and just kind of give the veggies a good spray. And then I'm just going to dump this in there. Actually, I think I'm going to do like half. I'm going to stir it good, and then I'll spray it and do the other half. I just want to try to make sure that everything gets evenly coated. think that looks pretty good. Everything seems to be coated really well with olive oil spray and with the seasoning. So I'm just going to spread it out on my pan. And then I'm gonna season up my potatoes. And I'll probably stir these halfway. This looks really delicious, very colorful. Okay, so they're going in the oven with the turkey kielbasa for 18 to 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna get the potatoes ready now so that they can go in the oven because I do want them nice and crispy. They will probably cook longer than the other things, truthfully. We will see. But I'm gonna spray them good with olive oil spray. And then what I've decided to put on them, and I'm just kind of winging this, I don't know how it'll taste, but pink Himalayan sea salt, I'm going to crack some of that on there. I'm going to do some garlic salt and some garlic powder, some paprika, and then I found some Cajun seasoning in the cabinet, which was pretty old. It's kind of in a little clump, but I think it'll be all right. I don't know if this even has an expiration date on it, but anyway, that's what we're going with. It smells good and it seems like it would kind of go with the other flavors. So we are going to just put some sea salt on here. Go ahead and do my pepper. So I'm not a huge potato fan, like regular potatoes. I like sweet potatoes, but with regular potatoes, I just don't like it to really taste like potatoes, which may sound weird. I know a lot of people love potatoes, but Charlie loves potatoes, so I thought if I could season these up well enough, then it will be good. Then we're going to go in with some garlic salt. Not too much garlic salt, because I am going to add some garlic powder, and I already have the pink Himalayan salt on there. A little garlic powder. Some paprika. And I'm really only putting this on here kind of for the color and because the veggies have the paprika on them as well. And then I'm going to go in with the Cajun seasoning. Not too much, but I definitely want to have that flavor on there. And I think I'm just going to give them one more spray with olive oil spray, and I'm just going to pop them in the oven like that. And I think these will probably cook for 30 to 45 minutes because I want them nice and crispy. And I've got the oven set now for about 15 minutes, and then I'll stir them and add any more seasoning if I feel like it needs it. So that whole dinner is in there. So that is a nice one oven meal. I did divide the sausage and the vegetables on 2 separate sheet pans. Her recipe basically says to do the sausage and slide it over to one side, and then you can add the veggies. But my pans are not that big, I guess, or something. So I just went ahead and just did 1 tray of vegetables, 1 tray of the sausage, and then 1 tray for the potatoes. Okay guys, so I have my veggies, my roasted potatoes, I don't think that you can see those, but they are sitting here, and my turkey sausage all roasted up and ready to plate up. I'm just going to use these containers that have the 3 dividers so that I can keep everything separate. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to divide it yet, but on the veggies, I'm just going to eyeball it, and it will go in the smallest container, as usual. So I'm going to look up these roasted potatoes and see how much they are. So yeah, it looks like about 4 ounces is going to be about 4 points or so, 4 to 5. So I'm just going to measure 4 ounces in my containers. And then I do kind of have separate colored lids so that we can tell ours apart. So I will put like all of the red and orange on Charlie's and the blue and green on mine, and then we will know which one is which. There, that's exactly 4 ounces in that container, which is pretty much how I do my sweet potatoes as well. And then for the sausage, I'm just going to divide it equally because I know that I started with 26 ounces, but you know it cooks down, so I'm just going to measure this out and see how much I have. So that's 17.35 ounces, so that really does kind of shrink down quite a bit because both of those packs were 13 ounces each. So I went from 26 ounces to 17 ounces. So that's going to basically give us about 2.8 ounces each cooked. So we'll see how that looks. So there's mine. That is 10 points, 6 points for the turkey sausage, and then 4 points for the potatoes, and 0 points for the vegetables. Okay, there's those all done. I'm going to put blue and green lids on mine and red and orange on Charlie's. I'm gonna set the lids under them so that I don't forget, so I can get a picture. And I'll turn y'all around and show y'all what it looks like up close too. Okay guys, here are the turkey kielbasa with the roasted potatoes and roasted vegetables. These front three are mine with the green and blue lids because I did measure out exactly 4 ounces of the potatoes. So this will be a 10-point meal for me. And then these 3 are Charlie's. Not that much difference, except he got a lot more potatoes. And then he got pretty much the same of everything else. But these look pretty good. I tasted a little piece of the sausage and it was really good. I haven't ever had that. So we will see if I recommend it at the end of the week. Guys, I'm finally ready to start on the chicken taco poblano rice bowls. For this, you're gonna need, she says 1.88 pounds of skinless chicken breast. We just went ahead and used 2 pounds of chicken breast because it's 0 points. 3 teaspoons of olive oil, which I will not use the olive oil. I'm gonna use the olive oil spray. 1.5 medium red onion, which I went ahead and bought the red onion that's already diced. Almost a half of a cup of cilantro minced plus more for some garnish. So I just went ahead and bought this little thing of cilantro that's like half dried, half fresh. 1.5 poblano peppers seeded and diced, which we did 2 poblano peppers and we just diced them in the little chopper that I normally do my other bell peppers in. So those are ready to go. 1.5 limes, which I do have 2 limes. I haven't cut them yet. I will cut those whenever I'm ready for it. And then taco seasoning, which she has a recipe on here for the taco seasoning. So it is 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, which I just use this one. 1.5 teaspoons of cumin. And 1.5 teaspoons, she says kosher salt, which I didn't have, so I just used the sea salt that I used in the last recipe. And then 3/4 of a teaspoon of chili powder. I went ahead and used a full teaspoon. And then 3/4 of a teaspoon of oregano and 3/4 of a teaspoon of paprika. So that is her recipe for the taco seasoning to put on the chicken. And then I already have the chicken diced over here. We're going to move over to the stove and get this started. I also need to get my cauliflower rice out and get that going in the pot as well because I almost forgot about that. So I'm going to go ahead and do my cauliflower rice and get that started. I know I've showed this several times, but you're going to need 2 bags of cauliflower rice. I do like this rice cauliflower medley from Green Giant that has the little peas and stuff in it. So I'm going to use 2 bags of this. And then you're also going to need 2 cans of Rotel. So I'm going to use 1 can of original Rotel and then 1 can of hot Rotel. I really prefer to use 1 can of fire roasted, but Kroger a couple of weeks ago substituted the hot with the habaneros in there, and it is a little spicy, let me tell you. So if you don't like spicy stuff, I would not get that one. I would go for the fire roasted. And then I'm just going to add some salt and pepper, just to however much you like. I know some people like to heavily salt and pepper things and some people don't. I'm one that does definitely believe in seasoning my food, if y'all haven't figured that out. I used to not be, which is so funny. I used to never season that much. But then I didn't want to eat all of the healthy food because it didn't taste that good, and then I figured out if I season it, it's so much better. And then we're going to go in with a little cumin and a little bit of chili powder. And I really don't measure these. I would say probably half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, depending on how spicy you want it, which, like I said, that hot habanero is pretty spicy. And then I'm just going to use some fajita seasoning. And then I'm going to, well, I guess I need to turn my oven on, my stove on. I always forget that part for some reason. I'm just going to kind of mix this up and let this just simmer until the cauliflower is softened up. And then I'll take the lid off. And then I'll let it cook down until all of the liquid is cooked down, and it will really look like rice. You don't want it to be too wet. I mean, you don't want to let it cook until it's too dry, but just until all of the liquid is kind of dissipated. And then I'm going to get started on my chicken. Now her recipe says basically to add the oil to a large skillet, which I'm just going to use the olive oil spray instead of oil. And then when it's hot, add the chicken and cook until it starts to brown, 2 to 3 minutes. I'm obviously going to cook my chicken longer than that. Y'all know that I want my chicken well done. I'm going to cook it until I feel like it's pretty done. And then she says to add the onion, the poblano peppers, and the taco seasoning to the skillet and cook until it softens. And then add half a cup of water and some corn. And she says you can either use frozen corn or canned corn. So I have this 10-ounce bag of, no, excuse me, a 12-ounce bag of frozen corn, and her recipe calls for 1.5 cups. So I think that will be perfect. I'm just going to leave that sitting out until I get ready to put that in. And yeah, so I'm going to salt and pepper my chicken and get it to cooking in the skillet, and then we will add the seasoning and stuff and everything else. I always like to salt and pepper like on one side of my chicken and put it in the skillet, and then salt and pepper the other side as well. Okay, and while that's going, she also wants us to make some pico de gallo, and so I need 3 tablespoons of the diced onion in a bowl with the tomato, cilantro, and 2 teaspoons of lime juice and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that up and set it to the side. That way I have the rest of my onion ready to go in here. So it says 3 tablespoons of the onion with the Roma tomatoes, which she calls for 1.5 Roma tomatoes, which we went ahead and just diced up 2 of them because I wasn't going to do anything else with the other half. This says like 0.38 cups of cilantro, so I don't really know how much this is. I'm just going to put most of this in there, I think. It says to reserve a little bit for garnish. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And 2 teaspoons of lime juice, which I'm just going to squeeze some in there. My chicken's kind of going now. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Well, I'm sure you can hear it. It's always super loud on the camera. Okay, so here's my pico de gallo. I'm just going to set this to the side. I think this will really just be used, you know, as a topping at the end. So the cauliflower rice is coming along nicely. I can already tell that it's softened up pretty good. So I'm going to turn the heat down on it and just let it sit here and simmer. And if y'all haven't tried this, this is delicious, just eating it with like the baked Tostitos. I like to make this as a side whenever we do fajitas. And honestly, whenever I eat this meal, depending on what the points turn out to be, I'll probably have a bag of my baked Tostitos with it just because it'll go good together. Okay, so I think that my chicken is getting pretty done. I just spilled my corn. I don't know if you saw that. Oh well. The chicken is getting pretty brown now, so I'm going to go ahead and add in, it says the remaining onion. I'm not going to add all of this because we don't really eat that much onion. I'm just going to add a little bit of it. And then the poblano peppers. And the taco seasoning that we mixed up. This is basically just to stir this up for a couple of minutes and then add in the corn and half a cup of water, and then you're going to let it cook for a few more minutes until everything is softened up. I'm going to go ahead and add in my corn, especially since it's frozen. And then let me get half a cup of water to add. And y'all, this really smells good. I think it's going to be delicious. I don't know if you've ever cooked with poblano peppers before, but I never had until I got this sauteed chicken at the local Mexican restaurant down the street that we go to on the weekends. And it had poblano peppers in it, and they were so yummy. And so ever since then, I've been trying to find recipes, you know, that call for those to try. but I think this is going to be delicious. I think it'll be delicious served over the cauliflower rice, which it's almost done. So we're almost ready to plate this up. Okay guys, I'm ready to plate up the chicken poblano taco bowls with the cauliflower fried rice that I made. I just put everything into my Weight Watchers app, and this is a 0-point meal, believe it or not, since I didn't use any of the olive oil or anything. So if you're looking for a very low point meal, this one would be the one for you. I'm gonna just eyeball it, and since everything is 0, and just try to divide it equally. I'm gonna put the cauliflower fried rice in the bottom and then just top it with the chicken and stuff. And I will definitely eat this with some of my baked Tostitos this week to add some points. Of course, I've made the cauliflower fried rice a bunch. This is almost a staple in our household now. At this point, it's delicious. I don't really know how much will go in each bowl, but we'll just start out with a couple of tablespoons and even it out. It's so good. Spicy, but good. Okay, there's those, all 6 bowls, if you can see them all. I guess this one's the one that you can't see, but I'm going to turn you around and show you what they look like. They look and smell delicious. I think this is going to be a great meal, especially for 0 points. So if you're struggling, and this is on the blue plan, obviously on the green plan you would have to count the chicken and the corn and stuff, but on the blue plan it is 0, and it's probably 0 on the purple plan as well. But be sure to put this into your own recipe builder. I always try to tell people that. But the ingredients that I used, I just plugged it all in and it all came up 0. So I'm going to turn you around and show you the finished product. Here are the finished chicken poblano rice bowls. Again, these are 0 points on the WW Blue plan, but these look and smell delicious. I think they're going to be nice and spicy. I'm going to eat mine with some baked Tostitos to add some points. So I could have like 2 bags of my baked Tostitos and it would be a 6-point meal, and it would be extremely filling. So very pleased with this. I'm 100% sure I'm going to love this one. Okay guys, here are my chocolate peanut butter cookies, protein cookies. I did decide to make them. I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I was going to, and so I'd already stopped filming everything else, and then I decided at the last minute to go ahead and throw some together. I still have 3 left from last week, so I was thinking, well, maybe I'll wait a day or 2 and then make some, but you know, I really don't like to cook during the week if I don't have to, since I do so much on Sunday. The oven was already warm, so I did just throw those together real quick. I didn't film it. I know y'all have seen it a bunch, but anyway, they look lovely today, nice and big, and so these will be a perfect little snack. Again, it is, what is it, 2 points for 3 cookies or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's super low points and it's a great treat. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you got some good tips. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to try any of these recipes, or if you do, what you think about them, or if you have tried them, let me know your thoughts on it. I will follow up probably next week with my weigh-in review and kind of do a meal prep review with that as well. But again, thanks for joining me for this video. If you are new here, please click subscribe and click that like button and that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. And I appreciate all of you and this family that we are creating here on YouTube, and I hope to see y'all in the next video.
Don't take it personal, I ain't lying, I ain't hiding, I've been grinding, multiplying.